Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Crypto Night in Canada. Dun 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 dun. Oh, it's great to see everybody. Ryan's in the house, and David and Ken. How are you?
You're expecting them to reply?
Ken, I'm expecting
Ken.
Ken.
I was about to say,
doing pretty good.
Let's all watch the comments.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Marie Claude is here, and Gary. This is awesome. So good to see everybody. It's pouring rain, like we got torrential rainstorm going on. And for those of you that might be friends with us on Facebook, I've posted like a million times how much water we get. We actually live on wetlands here, and we will get flooded out, but then by tomorrow it all goes away. But tonight, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I actually think I could get my kayak out and go for a ride in the yard tonight. It's bad. It's really bad. And Ken, you're not having the rain the way we are, but you're having a massive windstorm.
Yeah. The wind is really bad in Sarnia right now. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Weather Channel.
Yeah, welcome to the Weather Channel. Yeah, you got the rain.
But the wind is just, we had the rain today, but the wind is just, it's awful right now.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. So it'll be fun to see where everybody else, what their weather is like. So we got either Len or Joey in the house, and I'm sure
it's Len, because Joey's probably in transit back from the Great West.
Oh, is he on vacation? So Len must be in rain too. So there must be Gary Matthews. You're not so far from us. You've got to be in rain. Would love to hear how everybody's weather is, because this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Weather.
Whether you want to or not.
No, we're not really going to talk about weather. There's a lot going on in the news. A lot of stuff happening with inflation.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Let me get this out of the way. Robert Kiyosaki, 28 minutes ago, posts, House of Cards coming down, real estate crashing with stock market. China's Evergrande group cannot pay. Valuation of properties fake. Will real estate crash spread to US? Yes, period. Great stock and real estate opportunities coming for smart investors. Disaster for foolish investors.
So I want to talk about this first and foremost, because I don't know. I've had this conversation a lot this week about this Evergrande situation, and I don't know if people are looking at this news quite the way that they should be. We lived in Oakville before we moved here to Kitchener, and Oakville, the big sentiment in Oakville had been for the longest time, oh, do you notice how many Chinese buyers are buying up the market? So Oakville is one of the wealthiest pockets in the Greater Toronto area, and it was one of the greatest. It probably still is. Anyways, you don't think so? Well, you're interrupting, for heaven's sakes. And so anyways, so the thing with it is that all of those Asian investors would be getting money from like an Evergrande. We might as well call it Lehman Brothers of China. So if they...
Did you get that?
What?
Lehman?
I don't get it. And so
did you get it, Ken?
I got it.
Oh God, you make me lose my train of thought. So anyways, but what happens is and the reason we know a little bit about this is because we've been looking at trying to think about eventually buying a property in the US. And so the US doesn't really lend to Canadians. It's a very convoluted situation. But if you had like a line of credit in Canada, you could cash out the line of credit and use that to buy a place in wherever you wanted to buy it in the US. And then really your loan is here in Canada. So that is what is happening. So the Chinese investors that have invested in a lot of Canadian properties up here, they would have borrowed their money from organization like Evergrande in China. And if that thing goes bankrupt, if the Chinese government lets that thing fall, and it's, I don't know what the odds are at this point in time that they will or they won't. This could be the thing that tips the scale, because if they go out of business, then the Chinese who own all this real estate within North America, they'll default on their loans.
Well, the Chinese own a lot of debt. Look who it is.
Speaking
Oh,
of
it's
debt,
Neil.
What
Oh,
did you do? How much did you lose to him?
oh, geez. Oh,
You lost the
geez.
bet and had to go swimming naked in the lake, didn't you?
Oh boy. Oh boy. So anyways, we were just talking about the Evergrande situation, and I would love to see everybody else's opinion in the comments here if you're feeling the same way that I am. But this is literally a big, huge signal for me. And so as everybody's leaving their comments on Evergrande, tell us how Tim Perry's doing. Did you have a good time?
yeah, it was a nice way to really disconnect and get away from everything. So I did a lot of sleeping, which, as a parent, I guess everyone understands.
Yes.
But
Yes.
no, it was good to see him, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be buying a horse soon. So.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
So we can't wait to hear that.
We've actually been discussing maybe it's time to move out of coins and move into NFTs because it's just insane what's out there. And well, he's getting impatient with Root. Before I went up, I was in one of the Telegram forums trying to get some information about their launch. So, it's their mainnet's supposed to be in September. So I think we've only got 9 more days. So we're getting antsy.
Yeah, but EIP 1559 was supposed to come out too, and it was delayed. I mean, gee, Louise.
Well, Mr. Tim is not the most patient in crypto.
Yeah,
No, it's so true. It's so true.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we love NFTs. You've loved NFTs. Ken, you're not big on them, are you?
Not yet, but since we're talking about NFTs, let's talk about OMI and Immutable X, because that blockchain was specifically, it's a layer 2 on Ethereum, mainly created for NFTs and other things such as that.
Yeah.
0 gas fees.
What?
How does that grab you? 0 gas fees.
So one of the things that we're talking.
Go ahead.
One of the things that my son communicated to me today, and I communicated to Neil, was he said he'd like a quick overview, Neil, of how to buy an NFT. How do you on-ramp it? Where do you put it to? Do you put it to a MetaMask? Where does it go from there? So in a matter of take 1 minute.
No.
Oh.
Can you just, before you say that, Neil, before you give us that, because I think that's a good point, but what I'd like to unpack a little bit more is what Ken just said. So Immutable X, am I saying it correctly? Immutable?
Yeah.
Immutable? Immutable?
Immutable.
Immutable X. Is that a platform that you go to? What is it?
It's a coin.
It's a layer 2 that's built on top of Ethereum. There is a coin coming. They're doing pre-sales. They're starting off at like $10 a coin for X amount and $15 for X amount.
Wow.
So there's a lot of hope in it. I guess they've got some things hidden in the background that they're not going to talk about in order to facilitate that price and actually convince people to pay that. That's about all I know. I just kind of dove into it for about an hour tonight. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm on it right now, and the first thing I'm seeing is scalability for games, and I'm actually opening. It's got a play to earn section apparently, and that's huge. Like that's something I'm exploring a lot. There's another one. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but it's called I think it's Star Atlas, and it's a huge metaverse. There's 3 different character types. There's an alien, there's a robot, there's a human, and it's just immense. And so like that whole play to earn is something I'm really interested in, especially if I get any profits to try and maybe jump into, because I'd much rather play video games as a living than
who would
work.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it's saying IMX is an ERC20 utility token. So IMX must be the token, for the Immutable X protocol that is designed to drive the adoption of NFTs and help creators, players, and developers reimagine value in a digital ecosystem. It will be used for staking to earn rewards, pay transaction fees. So, wonder what the price of this darn thing is.
Ken, did you just say they were?
Yeah.
Be offered
Google,
that's the hubbub.
IMX is the token.
No, it actually looks like it's IC.
No, that's an initial coin offering.
Yes, it is initial coin offering. You're right. You're right.
You should have the information
IMX.
there then. Yeah, do IMX pre-sale, and you should get the pricing of everything.
You're right. $15. When does it say it's going on? Tokens
September
for
8th?
sale.
Or
But you have to purchase. You're purchasing that through an ERC20 platform, right? Which is gas. I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking out loud.
Sure. You're purchasing it directly from the devs.
Oh, okay.
So whether they cover that, I don't know. Maybe that's why the price is so high on the token, because maybe they cover that in return.
That would make sense, right? And probably the appeal is that there's so much NFT action on Ethereum that you can snag all these people that are leaving for Solana, especially. That's where a lot of NFT traffic has been happening. And that's why I think you've been seeing the pumps there. So if they're going to scale on Ethereum and make it a really easy transition, I think they could be hugely successful for sure.
So Immutable X will be able to buy and sell NFTs through that. And you're saying the thing that you've done the research on, Ken, so far is that you don't believe that there's going to be any gas fees on this.
As far as it said no gas fees. So you can just do transfers through there and no fees. Interesting.
So this is definitely one I'm going to have to put on our watch list. But you know what I can't figure out is where do you buy it? Anyways, we'll have to come back on that.
And that's who was the handle on, was it Twitter or something? And it was an anonymous guy, and it ended up being Snoop Dogg buying $17 million worth of NFTs.
Yeah,
he finally said that it was him. That was interesting.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many celebrities are crypto holders. They're just not saying nothing because they don't want to be. They want to
held responsible.
In that limelight, yeah, they don't want to be in that limelight just in case.
Well, they're probably holding it against. Well, they're. You're not going to say much more after that, but it's just what people don't know is what people can't tax, right?
Bingo.
So we have a lot of people that are really excited about OMI. See, even Verina's on saying she's excited about OMI. And I think Marie-Claude is excited about OMI. So Ken, do you still own, or Neil, do you still own OMI?
Yeah, it's one of the few things I haven't touched. I actually added to it a little while ago, just a bit.
You're right. It has really gone up. I'm just looking at it now.
It keeps like fluctuating between 5 and 7.
That's amazing. So I know, Neil, what news do you have of what's going on with OMI?
I actually haven't been watching too much of it. I've been diving headfirst into Zed. So from what I saw, I was poking around on their marketplace a couple weeks back. It's completely open. There's so much content available, not from Ecomi itself or VeVe, but from people in the secondary market.
Yeah,
there's a lot available. A lot of price gouging, a lot of reasonable deals. I'm just not really looking to do anything. I have tried to sell one of my DeLoreans for just what I paid for it, and nobody's bitten on it. So I'll be holding those for a couple of years, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe we'll be doing a crypto night in Canada giveaway soon.
Oh no. And Verena says she has a lot of NFTs. So Verena, what kind of NFTs have you got?
She's not going to.
I know.
Not going to. My God, we've done this already once on this show. Oh my God.
It's been a long day.
I'm going to have to play Mr. Puppet.
No. It's been a long day. I've had a lot of conference calls, and I've had a lot of people who have been off camera, and I'll go, what was that? And then we wait a long time. I'm like thinking I'm in an... Anyways, never mind.
Maybe you should go launch your kayak out in the yard.
Stop. Okay. So while we're waiting for Verena to tell us what kind of NFT she has in the text, maybe we can go back to buying an NFT.
Oh, thanks.
Well, there you are.
Neil.
Well, it really depends on where you want to get it from. So Ecomi VeVe app is where I got my DeLorean from the Back to the Future. Right now, it's only on their particular gallery, their vault. I haven't seen anything where you can actually, transition it to another area, say like TVK, Terra Virtua, where they're actually taking different NFTs from different areas. But it's really going to depend on what you're looking for. The biggest one that I've really started looking at is OpenSea, and it's OpenSea.io. And it's a huge marketplace, and it's immense. The first couple of times I went in, it's a little overwhelming. You kind of need to know what you're looking for. And the biggest thing with OpenSea is there's usually a blue check mark at the top of it for the collection and the piece to verify its authenticity, that it's been from a verified user in that. The other one would be Rarible. I haven't really been exposed myself to that, but it's another area where you can get NFTs. For the most part, like OpenSea, it's just like an exchange. You would connect your MetaMask, and you would just do all that. So for OpenSea, I actually connected it to the Matic chain of my MetaMask. So it's pretty simple in that way. You can also use an email wallet through Zed, or it depends on the different marketplace. What I would recommend is, if you're looking at NFTs, is really, before you buy anything, maybe look at where you want to get it from and what you're looking for. OpenSea, from what I've seen, has a lot. So if you're looking there just to kind of dabble, there's a 5% commission on every sale that's paid by the purchaser on OpenSea. So that is something to think about.
So what is it? Is this to purchase, to fund it? So you're going through MetaMask. So as soon as I hear MetaMask, that is an Ethereum-based product. So correct?
Well, I actually connected my OpenSea to my Matic chain, and that was just not everything on OpenSea is going to accept wrapped ETH, but the majority, like
so what are you funding it with? Are you funding it with Bitcoin? What are you funding it with?
Wrapped ETH. It's ETH. So on OpenSea, ETH is the payment method, and then because I use my Matic chain or Polygon chain address, I was using wrapped ETH.
So you're saying the gas fees on Matic is way less than the Ethereum platform?
Well, no. Ken loves to dabble with his Ethereum coins, and he's done quite well with them. But one of the things he's expressed is getting out of them, and he's given me calls that I haven't gone because they're on Ethereum, and it's too much of a pain.
Yeah,
and you could take a huge hit. So I've basically been playing on the Matic side. And then for the VeVe app, you could actually charge your credit card to get credit into your account. So the VeVe app, if you want to get started something super easy, it is quite easy because you set up an account. You can even put in your credit card to buy, 300 gems, and they're gems. The other thing you can do with Ecomi is you can actually transfer the OMI or OMI coin into your wallet, I believe now. So you can
use that to buy NFTs.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's it. And then every time you do that, though, it's burned. So that's part of the overall part of Ecomi is they do a lot of burning. It's just because the supply is so large. That's exactly the app. So you would join or log in and go from there. And I'd say, especially for the more pop culture stuff and more comic book collectibles and stuff like that, VeVe would be where I'd recommend anyone who's more wants, Marvel characters and things like that. OpenSea and Rarible is going to be, anything and everything, like, an NFT horse that you can race and breed.
Okay, that's the NFT horses is on OpenSea.
Yes.
OpenSea seems to be the sort of the platform of choice now. And
when I first started, probably in March, April, and started hearing about NFTs, I was hearing so much about OpenSea and I wasn't really checking it out. So it's been a marketplace I've heard a lot about, and then Rarible is the other one that's done well. Basically, you just need to figure out for the piece that you want to buy is what do they want you to buy it in right now, because a lot of it's, I think, based on Ethereum. They want ETH. And it could also be that, they project that ETH is going to get more valuable in the future. So I want people to pay me in ETH because I want to hold on to it. It's one of the reasons why I've been struggling, especially at the beginning, to buy things, is because I don't want to sell my ETH.
Listen, I got more than a couple of coins of ETH, and I'm getting tempted as it gets to $4,000 because I'm getting tired of this waiting game. You know what I mean? And I'll be doing just fine at $4,000 a coin. But I'm with you. It's like every time I want to do something, it's like I can't stand losing that much in gas. And then I think, so if I'm holding it on BlockFi, if I put it into USDC, I'm still pooched because that's ETH as well.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing all these layer 2s. Like now you've got Immutable X, that's a layer 2 specifically for NFTs and gaming, whereas Matic is, I think, very much targeted for DeFi. So you're seeing these layer 2 for ETH. And I think what you're really seeing is that ETH, all these aspects of ETH are just going to make it more efficient, and it should make it stronger. And I think you're going to see there's going to be most likely a market for everyone, because ETH is the winner right now for network effect. And as much as Solana pumps, it has to pump a lot to get to where ETH is.
So tell me why a potential change of heart from coins to NFTs for you folks? You don't have to speak on anyone's behalf, but I mean, obviously there's something there. Is it because the coins are way too volatile and it's just going to be a long haul, and that NFTs are the pixel of the month?
For me, I'm kind of more interested in them. Maybe I'm becoming very much into crypto, but I'm getting bored of the coins. Watching CoinGecko and staying on it, and I'm not that interested in it as much as I should be better. I'm not a huge social media guy.
But is it because the coins, there's too many projects to watch, versus with NFTs, they're actual real things that you can go and have an understanding of? Is that what it is?
Or maybe the other question, or to rephrase the question, is that, are you seeing at this point in time of September 2021 that the volatility in coins is not anywhere near what it is in NFTs, and NFTs are now sort of the more profitable look at in these times?
One thing Tim said to me is, he just said the market's not like it was in the last bull run. It's being different, and it's not really making much sense to him, he said, and that in that he thinks this is going to happen, predictability, whereas NFTs seem to be a pretty strong marketplace right now. It's, you buy it, you hold it, and you can either hold it for a long time and then move on and make a little bit, or hold it for a little bit, make a little bit, and keep just kind of bouncing around. We've kind of been talking about, what's the strategy going to be? Are we going to go at a couple things that are popular, or do we want to take, a little bit more risk, spend less, and then buy a couple lottery tickets? Like the one that I really love that I was looking at, where is it? Well, I've been just digging around, but there's a few. I think it was crypto whales or blockchain whales, and they're like these, they're not even that great of graphics, but I just love whales, and I think they'd be cool. And and that's. But
can you race the whales?
Pardon? No, I can't. So I'd have to find a digital spot and put them on my wall to look at when I'm in my metaverse.
Oh my God, you're going to kill a whale. Free Willy.
So I just think they're kind of cool, and they're super inexpensive right now. So maybe it's the kind of thing. So
what would you consider super inexpensive? I'm always curious.
I think it was like $50 to $100 each. And even lower, but I'd be looking at. So one of the things I've started doing is going in when searching NFTs and looking for features that are less common. So I'm looking for the ones that have a certain kind of hat, necktie, hairstyle, mask, who knows, that's just less common. And those are the ones you want because they're more desirable, they're more rare, so they're more expensive. So that if something pumps, I'd want that. But I'm also trying to also look at stuff that if, say there is no secondary market, especially for X amount of time, I want it to be something I'm cool with having, that I like, that I think is neat and provides value. Whereas
almost like when you were a kid, you'd buy a poster, like a Farrah Fawcett poster kind of thing.
Yeah, probably more Pam Anderson, my time, but, Canadian.
Oh, that's content, right. You're younger than us.
A little bit. I know who Farrah Fawcett is though, and quite a bombshell at her time, especially. So, but like just looking at things that I find interesting. I'm also I've taken a pretty good chunk and moved it into Zed already. So I've already started moving from coins into Zed, and I'm just getting into it. Like it is, the more I get into it, the more I think I know, the less I do. So the last time I talked to you, I had, was it 2 horses?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought 4 more and then I bred 2 more. And
you bred them already?
Yeah. So I had 2 fillies. I've got now 6 females and 1 male. So the ratio it should be. And it's
6 females, 6 females, 1 male. Is that what you said?
And I think.
So can you show them to us?
Nancy, they might be busy. Shh.
Well, they might need their rest. The 2 were only born 2 days ago.
What?
Yeah. So, and then one of the ones I bought, I can't race yet because they're too young.
Holy shit!
And yeah, I know it's complicated. And I was incorrect when I said to the audience. So the breeding chart is a little bit different than I thought. I was trying to breed a Genesis with a Legendary to maintain the Legendary status, but I only got the exclusive. And the only way to get a Legendary is to breed 2 Genesis. So the what it is I paid a stud fee for 2 horses, and what I'm trying to do is super coats. So I picked the exact same coat, and you get a 40% chance of getting the same coat as the parents, which is considered a super coat. So I've got 4 females in one color and 2 in another color now.
So do you feel confident pulling this up and showing us? And also at the same time, I'd like to see the whales.
Listen, do they have guinea pigs?
I don't know. You'd probably be able to breed them 4 or 5 times a day.
We'd call them Noah. Only 2.
Back up in Ethereum blockchain if you had like a guinea pig breeding game.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So what I'd like to know from while Neil's pulling that up, has anybody
give me some time.
Yep, that's okay. Has anybody in our community, has anybody else bought any horses that
Looks
they
like
might
Ryan might be into it. He sees like he's saying some stuff that he knows what he's talking about.
Ryan knew I was gonna do it.
Oh, Ryan, what are you doing?
Ryan, did you buy a horse?
Did he really?
No, we're asking if he did.
Let's breed them if he did.
What?
Let's breed them if he did.
He wants to breed them. I know.
Or race baby horses.
He wants to know when he can race the baby horses.
He says, or can you only race the baby horses?
No. Once they're a certain age, you can breed them and race them. So I haven't tried to race them.
Why, is there a law against it?
Just it's timing, I guess. So once foal is created, it has to be in existence for X amount of time, I guess. Males can be bred 3 times every month, like 3 in a cycle, whereas females can only be bred once. And,
what? A female can only be
bred once.
Well, they have to takes time to gestate, reproduce.
Well, I think it's also
it's not instantaneous. Yeah, Neil's right. It's to slow down. It's to slow down the reproduction of them. That's right.
It would be insane if you were allowed to breed
continuously. If you were going to make a horse into a rabbit.
What?
Breeding? They breed fast. They reproduce really fast.
A horse into a rabbit.
If you were going, oh my God, you and I are not on the same page.
That would be a giddy hop.
Oh, anyways, so while Neil's finding that, Ken, have you looked into this more? Has this intrigued you at all? Are you thinking of buying a whale, a horse, a guinea pig, anything?
I don't know what I'm going to buy.
Oh, he's going to do it though.
Everybody have a sip of Kool-Aid.
I'm still kind of bouncing around whether I should actually get rid of my Shiba and buy some more Satama.
What?
You're that big on Satoma that you're going to get rid of your Shiba?
I'm thinking it, yeah, because just the when the wallet comes out, it's going to be a game changer. It really
and when is that? And when is that estimated?
Next month. And as long as the Apple Pay works on it, it will be a game changer.
Why? Maybe you need to explain this for us.
Well, it's easier. You can just buy it directly through them instead of going to an exchange or anything like that.
Buy the Satoma coin?
Yeah, or any other coins that they carry. You can buy it right from their DEX.
So what other coins would they carry? So, and is Satoma a platform? What is
Exchange.
it? It's an exchange?
No, I said, is it an exchange?
It's going to be an exchange wallet. So you can actually hold your coins in it. It's going to be like MetaMask, where you can buy, I think you can buy coins through MetaMask, can't you? Or does it go through crypto.com or something?
Now you're going to make me look
MetaMask
again.
goes through
I can't remember.
Uniswap.
I actually did it. Yeah, it goes through Uniswap. I did one just through my MetaMask when I was transferring between wallets.
Well, this will allow you to use Apple Pay. You can purchase the coin, and boom, it's right in your Satama wallet.
And it's not that cheap for a coin.
Not now, no. Not when I was telling Neil, hey, buddy, you should have.
I know.
He was like, well, no, it's already up 40%. Now it's up like 700.
You did well on that.
Ken, that's why you're here to make money. I'm here to entertain.
There we go. Hey, yeah.
You're only here to entertain, Neil. I thought you were here to make money
right
too.
Now. Yeah, well, I am. Doesn't mean I will, right?
Oh man, did anybody else buy Satoma in the community when Ken was telling us all to do that?
I know MC Paradise did. I remember.
Yeah, Marie Claude. Well, she's got her namaste going on. She feels pretty excited about it.
Well, very happy about her investment, we'll say.
Well, next time, the future this year, Ken comes out with a call, I'm going to have to at least throw a little bit in.
Yeah, but is it too high right now to get involved, Ken? Like, I don't know. Or is it still?
Depends where you see it going.
It seems to be fluctuating about $2,500 a day. Usually, I've been noticing I'll check the cost of it at about 6 a.m. when I get up. And it'll be way up here, and then by 8, it'll be down here, and then during the day, it climbs all the way back up.
How many zeros are
Is this right?
there?
Like, is this the right price on it? Like, it's like a gajillion zeros and 79.
Yeah.
Really?
And what are you estimating this thing is going to go to?
I can't estimate. I don't know. All I know is 500 billion coins now costs about $5,000 to $6,000. I bought 719 billion for 1,000. That's when I got it.
Okay, so is this deflationary in nature? Like, are they going to burn these tokens? Is this going to be like another Doge?
Well, once
coin?
I think it connects to a platform, they start using
they're
it for
going to do
purchases.
burning with
Burn.
it. You also earn 2% on every trade and transaction. And then when the wallet comes out, if you stake your Satama on the wallet, you get an additional 2% of the burn, I think it is. So you got a chance of getting 4% of all transactions if you have your coins in their wallet. Well, in your wallet, but in a Satama wallet.
Yeah, well, and where do we buy this? Which exchange is this on?
You can buy it through Shiba Swap, or you can buy it through BKEX. That's where I bought it. That's I think it's Chinese. It's a Chinese exchange. They also have it on L Bank.
Of course, they got it on Binance, where we're not allowed to use anymore.
It's not. Is it on Binance?
It looks like it is.
Because they're really trying to push hard to get it onto Binance. Because Binance requires at least 200,000 wallets, at least 200,000 people holding the coin, and they're only at about 47,000. I think it was 48,000.
Well, let's ask Marie Claude. Where
that?
did you? Oh my God! Look at how many
SAIT.
she's got. Look at how many she's bought for 150 USD. That cracks me up. So Marie Claude, what platform did you buy it off of?
Holy, she's got a lot. Whoa, me.
That was a good time to have a sip of your coffee.
Oh yeah, Marie Claude is going to become a multimillionaire in all this. That's right. That's right. So
what's the ticker for that, Satomi?
That's SAIT.
SAIT.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look. Tim will look that up. We've no. Oh my gosh! This
What's it start with?
It's been a very long day. It's been a very long day.
All right.
Oh, she used Uniswap version 2.
Yeah, it's on Uniswap version 2 as well.
All right, I'm going to share a screen.
Okay, let's see him. I want to see the ponies.
It's been a long day. Oh, you want to see my ponies? I thought you wanted to see these other ones.
Oh, I do want to see the other ones. Marie Claude said she bought them through MetaMask.
Okay, there you go.
So, Tim, you got that? I'd like to buy some Satomi.
Well, knock yourself out.
Here's your phone. All right. So we'll start with everybody see the Secret Society of Whales?
Yes, Secret Society of
No
Whales.
way! Come on.
So
they're cute.
Exactly, Nancy. I was just like, they're so adorable. I need one.
I like the one with the clown hat on.
Right. So just a quick overview. This is OpenSea again. And what I did is I searched them originally when I saw it I just saw it flashing. And then I clicked here. And then you want to look at the blue check mark. And that just means it's verified by OpenSea.
Okay.
So that's just the strength in that part. And you'll see on all of these underneath, there's a blue check mark. And it means that it's legit and that it's a verified user and so on. And all you do for this is you connect your MetaMask, or it has a few options. I think it has 4 different wallets you can do. But then what you're really going to do if you want to start looking at rare and so on, you'd go into hat and you see that, okay, the cowboy hat is pretty rare. And we're going to combine that with an outfit for Nancy because I
love cowboys.
A little bit of a salesperson.
Oh, yes. And I love cowboys.
There you go.
Oh, okay. The teeth aren't as attractive, but the cowboy hat.
So you're just looking here, like this one's smoking a cigar and got some kind of gem on its nose. So just from this, you'll see that I can increase how many whales that we see when I get rid of the salesperson. But then it's like, you know what? Let's find a sailor that's also a cowboy. And here you go.
Oh my God.
So this is, pardon me, how you can play around with just the settings. The more rare something is, generally the more valuable. But if you're looking to sell it, you might also want to look for something that's going to be appealing. Here's another one I found. It's called Dapper Dinos.
Okay, but wait, we need to pause for a second. And can we go back to the Secret Society? Okay, so when we're looking at this, and you see the little symbol where the guy with the anchor on his nose or earring on his nose or whatever. Yeah. Okay. And it says 0.04 top bid, okay. But they've got a different symbol under that.
No, that's the bid in ETH that's going on right now.
ETH.
So he's offered $122 in ETH, correct?
Yes. So that's the top thing. And you'll notice here it says reserve price has not been met. It's right here. So you'll just see that this probably wouldn't be accepted unless the person who put it up decided to change it. Right here, you'll see all the offers and when they came in. And it's showing it's 59.6% below the floor price.
Did you say foreplay?
Nance.
Floor price.
floor price. Okay.
Floor price. That's
okay. Floor price. Okay. But then, say you were successful in getting this little character. Where does it go from
It
here?
will go into your wallet.
Oh, into your, and that's your,
Yeah.
is that your MetaMask wallet?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So
it goes into your MetaMask wallet. Now you've got it. And is it just like, what do you do with it? Now you hold it until you see a run on these things and then you put it back up for sale, or do you just hang on to it? Like,
well, if it's on OpenSea, anyone can actually see your NFT and make a bid, even if it's not listed. But what I often do, because with auctions, you never know what's going to happen. And one thing I saw with Zedrun is if you go and auction someone and someone decides to take your offer, they could go and breed that horse and race it and then accept your offer. So one thing I do is I actually look on the buy now function, and I want things that are going to have a set price that I'm going to go evaluate it and see if I think that's a fair price. You know what? This is one that I'm kind of liking. The lumberjack got a cowboy hat. That's pretty solid. So if I was like, you know what, I think this one is worth 0.12 ETH, I would just go and buy this. Instead of messing around and putting in an offer and possibly having someone outbid me, especially if I wanted it, I would just go straight to buy now. And that's because I want it, I'm going to buy it.
Okay, so 0.12 ETH is approximately 360 USD, approximately.
It says that in brackets there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And what you'll see here, though, is one thing I also like to do that's a little bit more, you're going to dig because everything's on the blockchain, is, so you'll see here, this was originally minted a month ago. And it was sold for 0.05 ETH. Then it was sold for 0.085, and now it's listed at 0.12. So this person here, if they get their list price, is going to make some profit. And that's what I think a lot of these people are doing, is buying things early on and trying to flip them for some profit. My hope would be a little bit more, meticulous, maybe find things that I believe have, as Tim and I were saying, pumpability. And then make an investment and, a calculated guess, just like with coins. So I just want to show just some of the different things you'll see. This one's called Dapper Dinos. I've always loved dinos. They're interesting. This one's only $100 billion, I think, is the list price for these ones.
What?
In ETH. 100 billion ETH. So these people are just being, interesting, I guess. But you can also sort, if you want, low to high. If you're just looking to get in and to buy something, kind of like Ken, so that he can change his Twitter photo and, kind of get in there. That she's got some great hair too, so that's a good one to look at too.
So Neil, how do you get a Dapper Dino form and then customize it yourself? How do I make one of those?
I have no idea. But that is that would be, I believe, minting through OpenSea. But I'm not 100%. I don't know a ton about how they're made. One thing I did want to see that I thought was pretty funny was the unstable horses yard.
Okay.
Just because I'm on a little bit of a horse kick, and I just thought these things are ridiculous.
Oh, I got that, a horse kick.
Shout out to you, right, Tim? And then this one is Celeb Face. So you were saying that Snoop Dogg was buying a whole bunch of NFTs. I'm wondering if he was buying his on here. No, not this one, apparently. So these are just some of the different NFTs you'll see. Some of these I'm looking at would be pure, flipping. I wouldn't be too interested in any of these probably long term, but I would love to buy them and sell them for something. So that's kind of where I am with the NFT and OpenSea.
Oh, I didn't see if you had any guinea pigs.
What about the horses?
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'm going to have to log in because I actually have to be in Zedrun.
Okay.
Hold on.
So you do that for,
I'll
for a
share
minute.
right now. Hold on. I got it.
Those NFTs with people's faces on, with public figure faces on them.
Yep.
That could be an issue.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Oh, yeah. The only one.
You don't want me to have an M&M? Cost you $1 million, buddy, and I'll give it to you, and you'll be the only one with it.
Marie Claude is saying there are YouTube videos about creating NFTs. She hasn't watched them though. Anyways, this is amazing.
Nancy?
Well, yeah. And the reason that I'm thinking that this is important for us to talk about is honestly, because we can talk about NFTs in theory, but unless you're actually looking at them and to kind of conceptualize it, you know?
All right, so this is my ranch, as I'm calling it. It's the Crypto Hick Ranch.
Nice.
And it's my stable. So I've got 2 newborns that were born 2 days ago. And right now I'm not going to name them because they are definitely a little bit more valuable when they're unnamed. And as I've been doing more research, apparently the horses could be more valuable or tend to be more valuable after they've been raced a couple times, so they can kind of identify some of the stronger traits if they have them.
Hey, I got a name for one.
What's that?
Newbie to crypto.
That's one for sure. Like I think these ones here I'm gonna sell, so I will. I'm very doubtful that I'll name anything I plan to sell unless I've already raced it. And but what you're seeing here is these are the different horses. So this is the original one, Biggie, as I like to call her. So she was bred recently, and that was the first time she was bred. And I believe this is her offspring. And it's a Buterin filly, and it's this yellow. Unfortunately, I didn't get a super coat, which is what I'm looking for, and a more rare coat. But to get a filly after breeding is pretty good in the sense that if I decide to breed them again, I'll have another horse to sell. So I did get 2 Finnery exclusive fillies, which is not bad. It's not the lowest level. And then I think what's going to happen, and I've got one horse. It's one of the cheaper horses I got called Doofy's Army 164. And if I can arrange it, I think I'm going to try and race him on the show next week.
Ooh,
Because
that would be very exciting.
I get 2 free races, and I haven't had any bites since I put them up. I did put them up for kind of an insane price. I did get, a couple offers, but I didn't spend a lot on them, so I'm just trying to turn them for a profit. But I'm hoping that maybe if I can race them and get a good result, maybe the first 2 free ones, that I could actually get some good coin for them.
So can you explain the minting process of NFTs?
For Zedrun, the way I minted it, it was all in Zedrun's in its program that's run on the blockchain. I went into the stud farm. I had to, it just kind of separates them by the bloodlines and the legend, like the levels. But you really got to dig and look. So some people are looking for breeding, racing. I was looking to breed super coats. I just figured
that's
super coats.
So
we're not mixing goats. No goats in here.
Now.
No goats.
So when you breed 2 parents of the same color and they have an offspring of the same color, it's called a super coat. I was just looking at it. Right now, it's something like less than 2% of the horses in Zedrun are super coats. So even though it might not be the highest ranking horse, that rarity would make it more valuable.
That's awesome. So okay, can you walk me through what happened? So you bred them somehow. Yeah, Don't want to know the complete details.
I introduced them. And
you introduced them.
Yeah, I gave them a little it was malt lick that's gone off. So I think they got a little bit less a little bit inebriated, and that was that, right?
Okay. So did you get notified? Just a second. Did you get notified somehow that your mare?
No, he came out of the stall and had a smoke. What do you think?
No. How did the computer program just all of a sudden shoot you a message and say, "Ding, ding, ding"? One of them is going to have an offspring.
So it's a little bit of a dirty process. I did have to pay for it to be done. So
you did?
Yeah. So I had to pay a stud fee, because I get to keep the horse. There's a fee in the stud barn. And so I selected this. I actually picked a colt, so another horse that had never been bred. And it says, okay, You've made the selection, signed the contract, just like a transaction on exchange. You know, I'll do this. It's this much money. I think it was about $130 and I picked a Genesis, so the highest level horse. It's a Finny, and it says it will take about 5 to 10 minutes. So I did that, and then I was like, hey, that was easy. So I went and found another stallion for Big E. And same thing, it was a colt that had never been bred, Genesis, same colt color, and I bred Biggie. And then by the time I did that, the first filly had arrived in my my stable.
Okay, so from the time of breeding till the time you got a filly was how long?
10 minutes.
Like in 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15, maybe not even 15, probably 10 minutes, yeah.
The storks are really fast nowadays.
Oh, high-speed internet.
Oh my God. Okay, so then all of a sudden now you got a ding ding ding, you've got a new colt in there. And then what happens?
I have the opportunity to name it. It's like, congratulations, this is what you have, and it's a filly. The Z number you see with it is a total addition of all the Zs. So when they're released, the first release was Z1, and then it goes all the way for Genesis, I believe, to about Z12. And then when you breed horses, you add those two numbers together to make their Z number. So say you made it a Z2 and a Z3, your horse would be a Z5. And that just tells you how far up the bloodline or down the bloodline is. So in the future, there's going to be horses with Z in the hundreds.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good or bad?
Well, what it's
diluted, higher the number diluted?
Well, it's just going to be like traditional horse racing. They're trying to make it as much like traditional horse racing as possible, where you would be breeding bloodlines and bringing two champions together. Or maybe you have a good horse and she's a mare, and you bring in different champions, and she is just this excellent mare that keeps giving you and providing quality horses. And this is what I'm reading about and watching videos, especially like when I get a few minutes and I'm washing and folding laundry. Like I'll throw it on and listen. But it's been open about a year, so I feel like I'm in pretty early. I'm picking it up pretty quick, but it's big. And the biggest thing I think I need to do is I need to get connected with a community. I'm seeing a number of different ones that are like farms, and they're affiliated with a larger farm or ranch kind of thing. And so that's what I need to start doing, is after I kind of figure things out, is start reaching out, maybe trying to build my network, especially if I want to do these super coats. I was trying to breed those 3 Fire Opal fillies, and I was only able to find one Genesis male with that coat. So I only bred the one. And that's because I was going for a super coat, and I'm trying to breed with Genesis because I'm bringing in the stronger blood. But if you're breeding, there's all kinds of different ideas. You can go with a different bloodline. You can try and go with a lower class of a horse that has really good bloodline and breeding. And this one thing I saw, this guy, they do auctions, and a lot of the community, they do auctions to just try and generate interest in that. And what the guy said is, if you could get this horse for 0.5 ETH, if you look in it, this horse has about 2 ETH worth of breeding in it. And what it was like a 6th generation Z that only had a number in the teens. So they were breeding like Z1 and Z1 to make a Z2, and then 2 Z1s or a Z1 and a Z2 to make a Z3. Like, so this horse had already gone down the line, but had a very high bloodline. So I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm mostly in it for the breeding, because I do see it as a possible source of just passive income.
Well, okay, so that was one of my questions. So if you had have owned the stud, so say you owned the mares in this case,
I don't pay.
So you had to pay. No, you didn't. You have to pay the stud fee.
Yeah. So
what would that look like? Yeah. So if you were the guy that had the stallion,
I would get that money in my account, and it would tell me that they'd been bred one of X times.
And so if you've got it in your stable, it's assumed that you're going to breed it. Or do you have to flick a switch that states this horse is available for breeding?
You actually have to put it in the stud barn. And when you put it in the stud barn, it is not available to race until after its time in the stud barn has been ended or it's hit its 3 breeding partners.
Okay, so it breeds 3 times. So what if you approximately, and you had a good, nice, valuable stallion, what do you think that you could approximately make for your stud fees on that investment?
The lowest was $130.
Wow, so you could
And
make
that was,
potentially
that was
in a month,
Buterin, yeah.
in a month, potentially $390 additional revenue from just per horse per month.
Say a Genesis, because they're the most desirable, the most rare. For the Buterin, I think it cost me about $120 to $130, and then for the next level, it was $160. I'm really looking at, so if I was, say I had that stallion, that's money that comes into your Zrun account.
Okay.
And it runs, it's running on Ethereum, but it really confused me, and I got really messed up in the beginning. I couldn't figure out how to get money into my account, how to connect it. And what it was is when I first logged on, I had my first MetaMask wallet. Yeah. And when I logged into my OpenSea, I made a special wallet for my Zrun. But because I'd already logged in once, it didn't see each other. And I was like, oh, crap, how do I get ETH and Wrapped ETH? Well, all you need to do is either have ETH or Wrapped ETH to race or trade in that. So all I did is I sent my Wrapped ETH through one MetaMask to my other one, to my Matic chain, because I had Matic chain on both. And then I was fine. But I spent, oh man, it's pretty embarrassing, like 10 days just trying to figure this out. And it was like, I should have shown my daughters. They would have been like, just send it here. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
So Ryan had a question, and I think it begs, it is a good question, Ryan. So does $1,000 do a dent if you're just venturing in this, or do you need a much larger commitment to do it?
I would say look in it first. Hey, Riley. Look into it first and then figure out what you want to do. I would say $1,000 if you want to start racing, you could probably get a pretty decent horse. But the other option is to buy a horse that's unraced, unnamed, or unraced and take a flyer on it. I started with more, but that's because I'm trying to breed. So I knew, but I needed to start with a few more horses to get that going. And then I had a few things kind of fall into my lap, like that, the one Doofy's Army 164, he sold it to me because I was new, and he sold it to me for a great deal. So that kind of just fell into my lap. I think if you wanted to do that and start, what you could do is start with 2 legendary females, or even a Genesis female or mare. And what you could do is when you had money or you made some money from racing is you could breed it, and then you'd slowly recover that. I think for me, I don't see really much point in having a male, other than the super quote issue that I was running into, but I was being very specific. I wanted a Genesis. I wanted Finnery.
You don't, wait a second, you don't see much value in having a stallion, but that makes no sense to me.
What if you had a really expensive stallion way up the bloodline, so you drop like 10 grand on it?
Oh, you would make,
you just studded it out all the time.
I believe some of the Nakamoto's, which is the top horse, is over $1,000 to stud. But that's the top horse there. So you're spending lots of money to get a hold of that horse.
Yeah, but if you had any horse that could make any money.
Oh, for sure. So
right.
Say
if you bought a male and just kept them there studding all the time.
Yep. But someone has to stud. Like someone has to desire that horse, right? So it's what they call it is like, I'm not just gonna, mate with a donkey. Why would
that's what I mean. If you spend the bucks and buy a really good horse.
So
do they age? That was my question. Do they age at all?
They don't. And they don't run out of times they can run. The idea, though, is the best racers most likely are going to happen in the future based off bloodlines, because the Genesis horses aren't actually considered the best racers always. It's kind of a crapshoot. Right. It's the blood from the bloodline from the Genesis that everyone desires, right? Because they're the pre-made, like prefabbed horses where the other ones are bred. I see there's all kinds of ways to make money. So if you were going to put in the time and effort, you could just be a straight racer and get horses that have good stats and enter them in certain types of races where they have a stronger top speed, better results, things like that. The other option is to be a breeder. I'm right now looking at breeding and then maybe doing a little bit of racing, but most of all, I'm breeding to get more assets to sell.
Okay, so just say, for instance, Tim and I did buy a just saying, it's a theoretical conversation.
Let's say, for instance, that Nancy buys
a horse
and keeps it in the drawer.
Do I have to go into some public place to stud it? So maybe
Nance,
I've got
it's private.
Maybe I've
It's
got a
private
male,
affair.
a stallion, and you've got all those females. Can we, as under a cloak and dagger, can we breed those together?
There is a way. I've seen it in the Discord where people go in and they will go or send a message out on Twitter being like, "Hey, your horse has these great rates or win rates. This is my horse. I'd love to breed them." Because a lot of these people that are super serious don't want to give the bloodline out. So you could definitely do that, like you and I, 100%. It might be just a thing where I have to send a request, or maybe I would transfer your horse into my barn, I stud it and I transfer it back, kind of thing. I'd have to look into that, but for sure, one of the things I'd like to do if I had a little bit more would be get a Genesis male to go with those legendary females to start breeding more. But that's just, it's at a higher level than I'm able to get into right now.
Yeah. Ryan's so interested. Ryan, I'm interested too, but I can't figure this all out either. I'm a keenly interested observer here.
So let me get my feet wet. I'm gonna keep trying to breed a couple more, and then maybe I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing. But I think realistically, my goal is to try and get, if possible, a Genesis female of all of them. But it'd be really hard to get to Nakamoto. It seems like right now the Finnery and the Zebu are kind of undervalued, and it just seems that way because everyone's focused on the Nakamoto because they're the highest bloodline. So there might be a good chance to get in there. It is still definitely an investment. But I'd say, if you want to get involved, Ryan, or anyone, just go buy an unnamed foal and take a risk and have some fun, or just go buy the cheapest thing and to test it out. Because
and even Verena, who was going on about how many NFTs she's got, I feel like you guys are all really courageous. Like, I wouldn't have the faintest, foggiest clue what is desirable. Like, I look at that and I'm like, well, go back to, we were just talking about the whales. The whales, some of those are super duper cute. Like, anyways, they're super cute. And I would think, oh, I really am interested in that. But then it's such a bizarre thing. I wouldn't know if I had any kind of, I wouldn't be making strategic decisions on it. I'd be making, personal decorative choices. Well,
I'm getting a little bit more confident just because some of the things I've been talking about and watching have done well. There's these crypto dads that were released a week ago, and they've gone bananas. And I actually sent a message to Tim that he didn't see. I was like, I found these things. No, Tim Perry. Oh. And I sent him a message being like, I found these things called crypto dads. I think I'm going to get one just because I'm like a crypto dad. And there was one that was a little bit heavier with longer hair. And I was like, that's perfect, right? Like, it's me. And I just kind of forgot about it. And then I told him about it, and he found the message. He goes, holy crap, dude. And like, since I talked about it, 2 days later, they went bananas, and they weren't expensive. So I'm starting just to feel a little bit more confident. And like I said, I'm kind of looking at stuff that I might find interesting. I'm definitely very wary of going in big, though. Like, spending $1,000 on one, that'd be a lot. Tim keeps bugging me to go in on it with him. I'm like, man, you're the one with no kids. Like, so, exactly. But like, if I find anything that I really do think is, is valuable, I'll definitely talk about it on the show. I'm struggling. I really do want to go that way, but if I've already made this commitment to like my stable, and I want to see this through. Like, I'm really excited about it, and I know people are like calling me a nerd or this is ridiculous. I had some friends when I saw them a little while ago tell me I was stupid, and I'm laughing at because I love it and I don't give a shit. So I've heard of me.
Well,
I don't
but
care.
I think it's bigger. I think what's happening here is you can look at horses, or you can look at whales, or you could look at the dinos, whatever. I think what all of this that's going on is proof of work. They're just proving the concept can work. But then I think if we can extrapolate this out, and we've done it in videos in the past, that this is fun, and it's something people can relate to and they can think about. But you just start to put this in a go forward out there position. NFTs are going to have real world use case. They're just using the art right now to prove that this can work. Really.
Yeah, and I think it's exciting for people. Like, the biggest thing I've noticed is that people are buying these and making them their avatar. So if I buy one, I'm pretty sure it's going to be my avatar for a while. Like, I'm not going to just buy it and just kind of have it hanging out. Like, it's going to be part of my identity. It's like that video I was telling you about. He's like, I can't remember what it is. He's like, it is me, and I am it. And I never saw the video. I just heard the audio. And this guy was just going bananas over one of these NFTs he got. And a lot of it's to do with community, I think. Because people get in on it, and then all these other people are like, that's awesome, I love it, I got this one, check this out. And it could just be that there's actually some positivity coming into people's life when there's been so much negativity, when they're just silly, fun things that people are getting excited about. And yeah, the money's there, but if it's all in good fun, I don't see why some people hate on it so much.
Well, you know what's interesting is, and I'm scared to go down this topic because it opens up a big can of worms, but with all the supply chain challenges that we're going to have and facing shortages for Christmas presents and things like that, I would say that buying NFTs for a loved one is not only cute because you can send it to them, but it has an investment value to it. So it's one way. Like, I look at what types of things can I get for my kids. Like, both of them got Bitcoin for their birthdays last year. We haven't done anything yet for my daughter for her birthday, and it's today. So maybe Tim and I'll spend a few minutes and go on to OpenSea and find some kind of a little art piece, and she can decide whether she wants to keep it and hold it as an investment, or whether she wants to sell it or do something else with it. But I think we can start thinking outside the box, because I think it's going to be very, very, very challenging this year to get gifts at Christmas.
I never thought of that, but it's a good point, right? And it's something I'm looking at, starting small collections for my daughters. And it's not even really about the investment. Like, it would be great to buy something now and say in 10, 15 years, it's quite valuable, but it'd be really cool to have them. Like, I got a unicorn that my friend sent me that I showed Evelyn, and she just laid on the floor and took all these photos and poses. And it wasn't even there, but she'd run and come look at my phone and be like, oh, look at that. And so it's a really good idea, because it's just something that would be theirs. And especially with phones, like, obviously my children are younger, so they're not going to have their phones. But
right.
Evelyn's already asking me, or my daughter, pardon me, is already asking me to see my horses.
Right.
He's like, did you breed any more today? And I'm like, well, no, I haven't raided your piggy bank yet, honey. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But yeah, no, it's really a good idea. Like, think about when we had kids, the Beanie Babies were a huge craze. And if you had hung on to those Beanie Babies, they became worth, like, the collectible nature of it. Well, why couldn't we extrapolate this out from a Beanie Baby collection into an NFT collection? Like, what really is the difference outside of it's something you can't feel and touch?
Does she like dinosaurs or whales more?
Listen. I think she already thinks I'm a crackpot mother. So what difference does it make when I send her? She's gonna go, what the hell? I'm gonna go back and look at one of the ones with the beads and the dinosaur with the beads and the curly hair or something. She's already going to think this is ridiculous.
Does
But
she look dapper already? Because then she should get a dapper dino.
listen, I don't even know, but I think it's a good idea. Anyways, so we've been an hour and 9 minutes. I'm scared to jump into the inflation conversation because I know that I've got new numbers. I've got actual numbers if anybody really wants to know what food inflation is.
I visited a chicken farmer today, and he's building another chicken barn.
Is he?
He was talking about the government possibly giving chicken farmers 6% back on all their sales too.
Oh,
Boost up
Why?
production for the shortfall.
Is that what it is?
he won't be crying foul anymore.
Yeah, it's 6% they're offering. From what he said, it's 6% that the Ontario Chicken Farmer Society, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
That's what
Chicken
they're possibly looking at giving them in return. So him and his dad have built a second huge.
They are huge, aren't they?
Facility. Yeah, yeah.
As we go up to the Sawmill, there was what 3 or 4 additions, and these things look like mini warehouses. They're massive.
Yeah. Well, they pump out the chickens every 3 months, right? It takes like 3 months to make to grow a chicken. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. So we had some real data. We were able to extrapolate real data for the month of August, and the difference between invoice cost coming in the door from the end of July to the end of August, I think he said 6% inflation.
For the month?
1 month. And it's getting worse. So, we got
to pay back the COVID money, right?
Well, it's not that. It's
we
the
just
supply.
spent $600 million to gain 2 seats for the Red Party.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're not getting into the political conversation.
I don't like to get political, but I would like to thank the Liberals
I knew I'd
for
fish him in.
spending $223 million per extra seat they accumulated. Thank you, Liberal Party, for doing that. I will never, ever vote for the federal Liberals again. Ever.
This was not a paid political announcement, was
This
it?
is not a paid political announcement. And so
angry.
I know. There's a lot of things that
Moving
are
on.
moving
Cut
on.
your pony.
But
Cut your pony.
I
Anger
know.
management.
Yeah, no, it's it's insanity what's going on. And I will tell you that the food chain. So I had a vendor who I get the vast majority of my data from this one particular vendor because she's got she's got feet on the ground in Asia doing all of her buying for her. And so I get exactly what's happening there. And she was telling me that they made the call last Monday that they canceled all of their retail processed, all their retail packaged processed seafood. So things like popcorn shrimp, coconut shrimp, anything that would come in a retail size box. They canceled their entire orders because they did the math on how long it's taking to get from Asia over to North American soil, and they would miss the Christmas season on it. That's how bad it's getting. So that freed up all of her containers, and she's flipped it over to food service, which I'm like, oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. So we're hoping to see some relief on some seafood items probably come January, because again, like the containers are still sitting there, the production is still sitting there, and it's taking about 80 days now to get from Shanghai over to either LA, San Francisco, or Vancouver. And they've got, I forget how many shipping big freight liners are sitting in the ports, outside the ports, waiting to come in.
Well, they're backed up into the port of San Diego too.
Oh,
huge,
yeah,
and that's one of the main gateways coming in from Asia and Europe.
Yeah. So it's just like a bottleneck. Then they get it in here and they can't get it offloaded because we have no labor. The labor crisis is out of control, And so it's really, really bad. And it's on weird stuff that you think, well, I was reading the whole thing on vinegar shortage. So you think, oh, well, big deal, vinegar. Vinegar's in everything. If you like ketchup, it's full of vinegar. You want a barbecue sauce, full of vinegar. You want a salad dressing, full of vinegar. Then we got a vinegar crisis. Like, I mean, I could just go on and on and on about all the things that are problematic. Like, it's really bad.
Well, we just need to get back to basics, right? Meat, potatoes, and vegetables. That's it. None of these chips, none of this seafood. Forget it. Just go back to basics.
Yeah.
And then start back over into that stuff again later on.
Yeah.
Because we don't need seafood to survive, right?
Right. Well, it isn't just seafood. Right? Okay, so listen to this. So there's some Canadian manufacturers that manufacture juice here in this country. And I was talking to one of the vendors because, of course, I sell into healthcare. So one of the big things we sell is juice. And so anyways, one of the things that I found out was Canadian manufacturers, the vast majority of the juice is produced using Chinese apples. Apples is they do that because we as Canadians, and I'll even say it that probably Americans too, they only want to pay so much money for apple juice and various juices. We don't have an appetite to pay what we really should be paying for juice that is domestically produced with domestic product, because our product that we grow here costs so much more, right? So anyways, so apple juice is a problem. And apple juice is also in a ton of in everything. So it's not just, I know I give you the seafood example because she's got feet on the street there, so I know what's going on, but you can just extrapolate it out. Here's another one: pizza boxes. Can't get them. Pizza boxes, it is critical. Pizza boxes is going to be a problem. How the pizza takeout has gone strong through this entire pandemic, because who hasn't ordered a pizza? Even in lockdown, you've been ordering pizza. Can't get the boxes. How are they going to get you pizza? I can go on and on and on about the problems. Like it's going to take us months and months and months and months to dig out. And they always prioritize retail. That has always been the case in Canada, and probably the same for the US. It has been prioritized. Retail's prioritized. So
so the public's not scared, right? So
yes.
that the public is left in the dark, right? Right.
But you will start to see it, because now with companies, like I said, that seafood company that is canceled their retail packed products because they know it won't hit the shelves for what is going on over here? They know it won't hit the shelves in order to take advantage of Christmas sales, right? So they're just going, why bother? Too much cost. And the cost built into these things, as I said, it used to cost approximately $5,000 US for a shipping container, between $5,000 depending on the size of the container. Now you're looking at $28,000 to $32,000 US just for the container. Just for the container. Don't even talk about the additional delivery time. And the same vendor that was telling me about the whole situation with the seafood, what she was telling me was that they buy the raw product off the dock. So they're standing there, they're buying the raw product. They secure the shipping container. They send the raw product over to the manufacturer. So they've procured the raw product, but they still have to get it manufactured to then be able to put in the container to send over. So then she was having manufacturers who had their raw goods, and she had to prepay for the processing of said goods. They wouldn't release them because they said, well, it's been 2 weeks or whatever, and now we could sell those items for this much more. So if you want your product, you have to pay more.
Wow.
Like
contracts are for. That's what contracts are for.
They had contracts. They do everything by the book, and they're saying to them, we won't release it. We know we could get more for this. They know they've got us by the short and curlies. And so this is going to come. Like, there's no way that they are not going to pass all of these costs through. There's no way.
Well, that's where that slogan buy Canadian comes from, right? Try and buy all your produce produced here in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Eating local is more healthy for you. So,
well, that's
But
what I say. Yeah,
I go to my neighbors. I go to my
Healthier.
neighbors every night.
get connected with a local farmer. I did a co-op 3 years ago, and we're pretty pleased with it.
For vegetables and stuff.
There's a little bit of fruit, and if you want, you can get eggs off him. But
Now, is that year round?
First Wednesday of June to first Wednesday of December.
Yeah.
Oh,
So pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I only say this thing not to scare everybody. It's not meant to scare. It's meant to sort of keep everybody informed, because I'm finding that what we're hearing in the media is not depicting what's really going on. They're not willing to tell you what's happening. I just had to fight the Quebec government, actually. And they had, in our contract, we were only allowed to increase our fees back to them by, I think, was the posted consumer price index. So I literally stood in front of them and said, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to show you. I'm going to send you invoices, and you're going to see what we're paying. I don't care what's posted. That stuff is outdated. By the time it's posted up there, it's already out of date. In this current economic environment, in this current supply environment. And so, anyways, it just is what it is. And it's not business as usual. And we all need to be aware of that. And so you only hear all these things so you can make informed choices for your families. And, so not everything's going to be out of stock all at once. But what you will notice is it will be intermittent. Like, so all of a sudden there'll be no bottles of vinegar on the shelf. Then all of a sudden there'll be vinegar, but there'll be no rice. Then there'll be rice, but then there won't be some other thing, that will come up. That it's not all going to be out all at the same time, but you need to be aware that there will be rotating problems, or be okay with going, okay, there's not going to be 12,000 choices of shrimp in the freezer. I got shrimp, yay. But there's not going to be popcorn shrimp and coconut shrimp and those torpedo shrimps or any of that other stuff. We may get one or two varieties, because the manufacturers are trying to go, okay, well, let's narrow this down and just start doing production runs on the most popular. And that's how I think we're going to get over this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it shows, like, especially here, that maybe North America and the West needs to reevaluate just how we live and what we expect. Because, like you said, we don't want to spend X on juice, right? So we get our apples elsewhere to help lower that cost. And, you hear it a lot, especially since the pandemic started in that. But if you can support local in that, it does help. And that's in all areas. But, not to be a downer, I'm sorry that I did get political. And no, I'm actually not a conservative. The way I've said and explained myself in the past to friends is that I'm red with blue and orange and green spots.
Oh, there you go.
So,
well, what's funny?
I'm sorry, but I've just, yeah.
What's
but hopefully
funny
with
is that
the election being over, maybe they will start releasing more information and not being so tight-lipped, because they've got, another 2 years to govern before they call another election.
One of the green seats went here in Kitchener Center.
I saw that, and that was really interesting. I thought
it beat out.
I was looking at the map. I'm like, is that green?
Well, there's a bit of a backstory on that, because the Liberal had allegedly was under allegations of sexual misconduct, so he was going to run as an independent. So you would think that the Conservative would have taken it, but she didn't. This guy, if you read up on this guy, he's actually quite an intelligent guy, and he's got some pretty good ideas. Yeah.
Well, you know what he did?
And he did a wicked social media campaign.
So I was going to say, there's two things that I learned from that. He was the only guy that had his face on any of the posters around here. So you got to have a look at him. And the second thing is, every single time I turned on any social media, he was there. His little videos, his this, his that. I didn't see that from any of the other candidates. Now, how he turned that around in a very, very short period of time, this is why, like, Ryan Hemsley has done really well with his channel. He knows how social media works. He knows how this all works. And if you've got some mad skills in that area, you could get some attention. Like it's commendable, really. I give them kudos for doing it.
Before I forget, though, I actually did want to say something. That one of the first things that when I started in crypto and Tim was like, starting to tell me things, he said, one of the most important things you can see in the chart is positive and steady growth.
Yeah.
The one thing I have noticed for economy is it is not really moving as much with Bitcoin. It's kind of doing a little bit of its own thing. And if you look at it, I was just had it up on my phone. It's got some pretty solid and consistent growth. So if I see this continuing the next couple weeks, I will go back and probably get a little bit more. But I've just been holding what I had, and I'm pretty pleased with. It got pretty scary when it was down to 0.002, but it's slowly coming back, and the more it comes back, the more interested I am in the app. But it's kind of funny to see, like, I'm doing full circle and getting more back into the original coin that got me so excited to get into crypto.
I know it's crazy. This is really, really crazy how cyclical all of this is, and we're falling right down in with it, like what we get interested in and all that sort of jazz. But you know what? I really, really, really love our Wednesday nights with everybody. I love chatting about this. I love learning this stuff. I love innovation. And this is what is my favorite part of the crypto space is it's people that are thinking way out and beyond, way out into the next level of where things are going to go. It's one thing to have the mad skills to extrapolate from today with what we know today and go, oh, this is a probability that something's going to go here. What's really cool is to be able to go, no, we can't go there because there's going to be new technology in that place. So we need to go way over here. And that's what I love. I love innovation and I love forward thinking and all of these cool things. It's because it's not necessarily about just the horse racing horses. It's what that means. What's the bigger thing going on? It's not just horse racing horses. There's something else that we need to look at to extrapolate for down the line.
Well, and Tim sent me just a tweet, and it was top mentions in social media in the last week, and Zedrun was just behind Axis Infinity. So the community is growing at a rapid rate. So it's stuff like that. And I was late to the party with Axie Infinity. I kind of looked at it, but it just didn't appeal to me. And I think that's the biggest advice I give to anyone is if you see something you like, go for it. But don't force it just for money, because that's when you're probably not going to make the best decisions. And for me, like if I get stuck with it, say, I want something that I'm still going to be like, yeah, that's cool. And, I'm hoping I'm not going to be like, yeah, I spent $8,000 on this and it's worth $4. Right.
So all of these things, it's food for darn thought. Anyways, thank you. Once again, Ken and Neil, this is awesome. We can't wait to see what happens next week with your stable. And we look forward. Thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in once again. It's been great. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for having me.